Alright, hello everybody. This is Audrey, and in this video I'm going to be doing activity 8-5, configuring and testing a GPO. It's located on page 344 in my MCSA guide to installing and configuring Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2. And the objective of this activity is to configure and test a GPO, which is a group policy object. And I first start out with starting up the Windows 8 computer, and while that's starting up, I am going to log in. I am logged in as administrator on server 1, and I am to activate or open Active Directory users and computers. And here I'm going to click in the computers, and here you can see my 410 Windows 8 computer in my computer OU. And now I'm going to drag the computer to the test OU3, which is down here. So I'm going to grab it. Oops, sorry about that. So I'm going to grab it, drag it all the way down to the test OU3. And this is just asking me if am I sure that I really want to move it, and I'm just going to click yes. And notice that it's gone now out of that window. Now I'm going to expand the test 3 OU, and there's my Windows 8 computer. Now I'm going to right click. Okay, now I'm supposed to go to the Active Directory. Oops, sorry. I'm supposed to open up the Group Policy Management console, which I do that by going into my Server Manager and Tools, Group Policy Management. Here I'm going to click on Test OU3. Now I'm going to right click GPO 3 and click Edit. And now this is opening up my Group Policy Management Editor. I'm just going to make that bigger, expand this out a little bit. Here I want to expand the computer configuration, so this one, and expand policies, Windows settings, security settings, and local policies. So here in local policies I want to select user rights assignment, and here on the right hand side I want to double click allow log on locally. And in the properties box, notice that the define these policies is not defined, and I want to change that, so I'm going to click the checkbox. And now I'm going to go down to click users or groups, and here you can either type in a name or you can browse, and I'm going to select browse. And here I'm going to put in administrators. Oops, I can't spell. I'm going to check names, and with it being underlined, that means the name checked out, and I'm going to click OK 3 times. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log on to the Windows 8 computer as an administrator and see how I have the domain selected and administrator. And so I'm going to just log in. Oops. What do I do now? Oh. Just going to give that a second to log in. Okay, now that we're signed into the Windows 8 computer as an administrator, I'm going to right click the Start menu and select Run. And here I got a little overeager and I already did this part, so I type in select pool.mcs and hit OK. And it takes a minute to open up the local securities policy MMC that contains the security settings for the local computer, and this is the section of the policy that was modified that I just modified in my server. So if I expand the local policies and click User Rights and Assignments. Now, if the policy were to go through the way it's supposed to, I would see a different looking icon right here. It'll look like two towers, but it looks that the group policy has not taken effect yet. So to do that, I'm going to go to Command Prompt. And here, I'm going to do GP update force. And here, this is going to update my policy. Okay. So here it says the user policy has been completed successfully, the update. And this little command here will, when you enter in this command, and especially the force command, it is going to immediately update any group policies on the local computer that have been set. So now I'm going to exit that out. I'm going to, well, let's close out and reopen this, see if the policy went through. Just give it a minute. I'm going to make that a little bigger. And see how the allow log on locally, the icon has changed. See that? Now in the right pane, I'm going to double click on allow log on locally. And in the list box, it should just see the administrators. So I'm going to click on the administrators. So when I click on this, see how both of the add users or group or remove has been grayed out because as part of my group policy it's not going to allow me to do this. So I'm going to select cancel. I'm going to exit that out, and now I'm going to log off my Windows 8 computer as an administrator, and I'm going to try to log on as a test user, which is a local user to this computer. Okay, now I'm going to click Other User. Now I'm going to put in test user 1. And the error it's giving me is the sign-in method you're trying to use isn't allowed. For more information, contact your network administrator. And it's because I restricted local logon to administrators only, so this is the message that comes up. Now I click OK. Now I'm going to click back over to my server 1, and here I'm going to double click in my allow locally, and I'm going to uncheck the define policy settings checkbox. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to close out the group policy. Now, since I undefined those settings, I'm going to try to log in as test user 1 again here on my Windows 8 computer. And it's giving me this message again because it's probably because the group policy hasn't been updated yet. So I'm going to click OK. And so usually for a group policy to take an effect after when you're not signed in, it's a good rule of thumb to click to restart it. So I'm going to restart my computer. Okay, now that my computer is restarted, I'm going to try to log on to the computer as the test user again. So test user 1. And now I'm able to log in to the computer because the group policy has been updated. Now, only an administrator can run a local security policy, MMC, but there's a workaround with the run as command. So once this gets all started up, the workaround is basically right click the start button and then go up to command prompt admin. And this elevates my status to an administrator status. And here it's asking for credentials. So I'm going to okay. And now I'm in the administrator command prompt. And here I'm going to type in sectpol.msc, hit enter. Now that command was the same as if I were to go to the start button and do the run command, and this is the same local security policies box. So I'm just going to maximize that and click to expand local policies, user rights and assignments. And in the right hand pane, I'm going to double click allow log on locally. And here is the list of users and groups assigned to this permissions, which is administrators, backup operators, guests, and users. This right is now assigned from a local GPO rather than a domain GPO. So I can make changes if needed, but I'm not going to make any changes. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm supposed to unlink the GPO3 from the test OU, so I'm going to right click that. Wait. So to unlink it, I'm just going to right click and click that, and it's asking if I want to change the linked enable settings, and I click yes. And so now this GPO is no longer linked to the test OU3. And that does it for this activity. I'll see you in the next one.